All I can ask is what is going on with my hair? I don't have a viewfinder, so hopefully this looks decent. Hey y'all, it's me Cecilia. Welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm just going to be talking about my January wrap up, the books I read in January. It's been a long ass month, but you know, we're just gonna get through it. And I'm upset because today was supposed to be a snow day and I could have had a day off of school. It's just raining and it's like 30 degrees outside. I hate it, it's fine. Let me go through for some stats because I'm gonna do that now for some reason. I don't know, I find stats interesting. So I read 4 books in January, which totaled up to about 1,105 pages. I read 1 graphic novel, 1 magical realism book, 1 nonfiction and 1 manga. I mean, the graphic novel was also nonfiction, but you know. 2 were audio and 2 were ebook. I didn't read anything physically. 2 YA books, 1 adult, and then the manga I never count as like an age range because who fucking knows, you know? And race, 1 author was Asian and the other 3 were white. So, not my most diverse reading month. I know, kill me, but next month will be better. So let us get through these books. So the first book I read was The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This book was pretty good actually. So we follow our main character Holly Chase. We basically find her on Christmas Eve night, and she goes through the whole Scrooge bit, you know, from the Christmas Carol, where everything's just happening. All the ghosts see her, and she doesn't change her ways, and then she dies a month later from, I think, something falling on her, or no, she got hit by a car, that's what happened. And then she becomes part of this corporation called, like, the Scrooge Corporation, and then every year they basically find a Scrooge and basically rehabilitate him in the same Scrooge way, having all, like, the 3 ghosts and stuff like that. And one year, there is this really hot guy who is about her age, or about how old she was when she died. And, you know, sparks fly, and she starts feeling for this asshole. It's like a thing. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was very Christmassy. I will say that if you're not, like, at least familiar with the characters and, like, story structure of the Christmas Carol, you might be lost, because I love Muppets Christmas Carol. It's a great movie, but there was even some characters who, like, they would be mentioned from the original Christmas Carol, and I was so confused, like, who the hell are you? But so it's gonna be easier for you to understand if you read the Christmas Carol first before you get into this book. But I found it very interesting. I found the whole corporation interesting. Our main character, Holly, she was unlikable, but of course she was supposed to be unlikable, but she felt realistic to me, so I was like, okay girl, what's up, you know, what up? The side characters were cool as well. I guess my only thing that I first originally rated it 5 stars, and then when I thought about it, I gave it 4, just because the ending was kind of, like, now that I think about it, it's like, I don't want to spoil it, but it just kind of negates everything that happened in the book. That's all I'm going to say, and it annoyed the crap out of me. So, at first I really liked it, and then the more I think about it, I'm like, ugh, no, I'm not a fan, but I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a really interesting and good book. So the second book I read was My Hero Academia Volume 1, and this was my first time starting to read My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero, whatever you want to say, however you want to call it. I watched a couple of episodes in the anime, and it was very lackluster to me, at least. I don't know why, it just felt very generic through the anime, but when I read this volume of manga, I don't know what it was, I just felt really interested, like I was like invested. So we have our main character Deku, and he really wants to become a superhero. Like, in this world, most people basically get a knack by the time they're about 5 or so, and a knack is pretty much just like a superpower. Some people's superpowers are just like levitation, like putting fire out of them, like there's a wide range of knacks. But when Deku grows up, he doesn't have a knack. But he really wants to be a superhero, and he feels that constant torment all the time. But one day he meets All Might, who is pretty much like the greatest superhero of like their generation at the moment. And he finds that All Might basically like inherited his power from somebody else, and All Might basically grants Deku All Might basically grants Deku the ability to be like, I want you to inherit my power. And his power is like literally supreme, like the most powerful thing. At least where I'm at, like at the moment, the most powerful, like All Might's like one of the most powerful superheroes. And of course Deku was fucking excited. He gets and he starts trying out for this one school and he gets in, and it's just his life living as a superhero or training as a superhero. And it's great. It's very inspirational. I really like Deku. He is just such a little cinnamon roll, and he if you've ever wanted a dream in your life, you are going to feel that through Deku. Deku just kind of brings out that like love, that pure raw love and innocence, and I love him. I love our side characters that we met so far are interesting. I think it's gonna be great. It's already a little funny, so I really like this one. I think I gave this one 5 stars. So I really recommend this volume. I'm going to continue on to the second one probably today. So one of these days I will continue, but yes, hella good. Highly recommend. Alright, the next book I read was Activeness, the story of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting by Lauren Hogg. So this was a graphic novel memoir, and this was about, following Lauren Hogg, and it talks about the, again, the Douglas shooting that happened in Florida, I want to say in 2018. I'm trying to remember the year. But Lauren actually went to the school, and 2 of her best friends were 2 of the victims from the shooting. And she talks about how, well, first of all, she talks about before the shooting. She talks about her experience during the shooting and the grief she felt afterwards from losing her best friends. And she also talks about the activism that she kind of grew into after the event, her and her brother, basically fighting for gun laws and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. The art style, god awful. I don't know who authorized that art style, but reading it just hurt my damn eyes. One of the reasons why this is not rated higher. I gave it 3 stars, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Yeah, it just wasn't, that art style really hurt it. I think that if there was just a better art style, a better artist, I think this would have been better. And I think it has poor ratings on Goodreads, and a lot of people were like, that art style was not it, sis. And I think that's true. I think this, if they hired someone else for that, I think that this book would have been a lot more widely received. The cover looks fine, but the inside, I'm like, ugh, no. I felt it very emotional. There was like one point where like, I had some emotions, you know, but then I feel like if you don't have emotions, you need to reevaluate yourself. But I found it very interesting, and I thought it's targeted towards teenagers and kind of help them be like more activist and take charge of like what they care about and what they are passionate about, and basically try to fight for whatever that is. And of course, just for Lauren, it's gun violence, gun rights, and all that kind of stuff. So I found it was very interesting and inspirational. I think this would be perfect for teenagers, if you can get past the art style. But I think this would be good for teenagers, but I thought it was alright, so I gave it a 3 star. Hi, editing me. I realize that in this section, I do not say the author's name correctly. I keep calling him Steven when his name is Steve. So for context, his name is Steve Brusati. So I know I was stupid this morning. I was tired as hell, so we're just gonna move right along. Alright, and the last book I read was The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Stephanie Brusati. This is a nonfiction basically about the history of dinosaurs. So I gave this one, I gave it 3 stars. This, I expected more. I expected better, I guess. The way I listened to this on audiobook, and I do give the writing style, I think it was Steven. I give Steven credit. I really liked his writing style. I liked how it felt very organic. He was able to, I guess, deconstruct very like scientific terms and explain them in a way that, like, I'm a science major, you know, but I don't know a lot about dinosaurs, paleontology, all of that kind of stuff. So him explaining it to me, once he would just like break it down a little bit, I understood, and I was like, okay, cool. So I felt like this is not exactly dummy friendly, but like, if you know, as long as you know kind of the basics of dinosaurs, like there's T-Rex and Tyrannodon and all that kind of stuff. And I learned a lot. I learned that there's different kinds of Tyrannosaurs, and I learned actually a lot about that kind of stuff. My issues with this book was the way it was laid out. We just went and jumped everywhere. Like, it would start off as a personal story, and then like historical event plus personal story. Like, oh, but let's talk about this one specific dinosaur that happened like 3,000 or 300,000 years later, and then we'll go back to this historical event, and then here's some more personal stories about that historical event, and then, oh yeah, I forgot about my buddy, and oh yeah, let's do a whole chapter about T-Rex. Why was there a whole chapter about T-Rex? I didn't see the point of it. I thought it was interesting, but like more than 10 pages would have been more than 10 pages was too much, man. I don't even know how long that chapter was. And the worst part was at the end of that chapter had like a paragraph or two summarizing the entire fucking chapter. So I was like, why the fuck did you give me that entire chapter when I didn't need it or care about it? And then after that chapter, which I think was like chapter 6 or 7, there was like only 9 chapters. And the rest of it just kind of fell flat, and I was bored as hell. And I feel like also he rushed the extinction a bit. I don't know what it, like the whole extinction of the dinosaurs felt like it happened in like 2 pages, like 5 minutes of the audiobook. And I was like, I feel like that should be given a little more credit, you know? But I just didn't like the pacing, but I think that if it was just edited a little better, I think that this book could have been fantastic. So yeah, I read that, I gave it 3 stars. But I still think it's good if you're really interested in dinosaurs. I think it's still like an enjoyable read. I did enjoy my time most of the way, so I think it would be fun. But yeah, those are my books for January. I only read 4, but you know, I'm in school now, so it's gonna be a little less. But I've already finished a book in January and February, and it's only February 5th. So we're doing great. Oh, I do want to start saying at the end of my raps when they're like short like this, basically my currently reading. I don't know, I think that would be fun. Let me grab the book. This is only the dust jacket, but I'm reading Reverie by Ryan LaSala. I'm like 2 chapters in. I'm not that far in. And this is basically a fantasy. All I know is that it's a queer fantasy. I don't know much more at the point that I'm at, but I think it's interesting. The writing style is not my favorite. I find it too juvenile for my liking. Like, it seems like a middle grade writing style, but I know this is a YA, so I'm like really confused. Audiobook I'm listening to is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. There we go. I was like, what? This is a weird fucking book. I'm already like 20% of the way through the audiobook, and boy, don't even know what the fuck is happening right now. I'm just like listening to it, and I'm like, okay. I can appreciate the writing style is beautiful from what I'm hearing from the audiobook, and the audiobook narrator, I want him to narrate like every part of my life, because his voice, I have to put in a clip or something of him just talking. Beautiful. It's music to my ears. It's just like the story, I'm like, where are we? What are we doing? The plot just keeps jumping around, so it's just having a moment. And ebook, I just started Pet by Akazi. I don't remember the author's like last name, but this one I'm like 20 pages in and I'm already in love with it. It is just a nice, diverse, seems like a science fiction, and we already have our main character who I think she has select mutism. She just doesn't talk to most people, but she uses sign language. She's black, and oh my god, I love it. I'm just loving it so far. The writing style is amazingly beautiful. Okay, but yeah, that's it. So, what time is it? I should probably go to class. It starts at about an hour and 10 minutes, and I still gotta commute about 30 minutes. So, and get a Starbucks, because I don't have time to make coffee. But yeah, so that's it for today, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this. I really did. But yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys read in January. I'm always curious. Or let me know if you have read any of the books that I have read or currently reading. I'll see you in another video.